STC. I've got the black screen on today. So screw you. I mean, I don't have to do my hair before the show. I do it a half an hour in advance and then double check it right before we go live.
I'm pretty sure about 30 seconds ago I saw you doing your hair, so don't even lie.
Corey's on his way. He's having some tough technical difficulties. The beauty of doing this show with Corey, other than the fact that he's an awesome person, is that odds are that one of us will be facing internet or technical issues. I know Michael knows a thing or two about internet and technical issues.
I'll probably flip out on this call once or twice, go all Robotron voice.
Right. What is it? What is it? Right. Yeah. What is it about tech people that I can't figure out simple tasks? I think it's that we have so many things running in the background.
That's all I can tell you is, it's that saying of cobbler's children is that if I spend all my days fixing and doing things right, whenever I get home and my computer breaks, I don't fix it the right way. I more just put a Band-Aid on it and boogie and shake down the road. And eventually I'll get this big old pile of crap that I'm working with. Corey made it.
He means me.
Yeah. And then here come the roses to the shit smell. So yay, Corey's here.
Yeah. That's good. No, we were just talking about the benefits of doing the show with a co-host, because if one of our internets or streams craps the bed, the show can still go on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
And I know you're excited because we've got Michael here, and I'm excited because now that you're here, we've got a kick-ass intro that we can listen to.
Oh, we totally do. It's I almost it's half cringe at this point and half maybe 60% cringe.
I'm at 90.
Welcome to Tech Talk on a Tuesday, where Corey and Jimmy talk to smart people about tech that is way above their head, but intensely informative, super fun. Sooner or later, somebody's going to make an inappropriate joke. We're definitely going to give away a bunch of NFTs. And quite frankly, we're just going to learn a whole ton. If you have any ideas about who we should have on Tech Talk on a Tuesday, please let us know by adding us in the comments or just finding us. Just stalk us down. It's fine. Just talk to us. Tech Talk on a Tuesday. Hey, so yeah, there's that whole thing. What's the ball racing app people use to pick winners?
Is that the marbles game?
Yeah, the marbles thing. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I can maybe figure it out. I like it. There's a duck racing one that we're gonna probably do this Thursday, which is gonna be fun.
All right, cool. Yeah, we have. Speaking of NFTs giveaway, we got I think number 3 of the crystallized uplifting giveaway today.
Sure, I'll see if I can find it. Yeah. One of these days, by the way, I'm gonna probably have too many drinks before the stream, and there's about 60%, 60% the way through that intro. I'm just gonna stand up and start busting a move because there's a throwdown moment where you say burn it down.
I've been there before when you might have had too much sake.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mean again?
No, I'm very cautious with my.
Oh no, Corey mutes the mics, kills the videos, all of that. He makes sure you don't go inappropriate in the middle of his.
I'm way too cautious about my social appearances. Anyway,
starting now.
Tech Talk on a Tuesday. I know that you like to take the piss a little bit, Michael, EOS USA. And so I want to ask you a very personal question that's dear to me. It took me a long time to grapple with this. It took me a long time to learn my place in the world. But I hear you have a Jimmy D under your wing now, and I'd like to know more about this guy. He sounds like he's
I
fascinated.
do. Actually, that was one of the. I think it's a mythic, right? Whatever it was that I drew. You know me and my addiction to just pressing buy. So I had to buy some packs, and out of all the awesome folks that I work with and know over at the Uplift, I got one mythic, whatever it was, and it was Your Sweet Words.
Right. Actually, that's not what I was referring to, but that's nice that you're still hodling that. What I was referring to is you guys are ramping up your on your end, on your EOS USA end. You're ramping up your social stuff.
Oh, you mean an actual, like, physical Jimmy D? Yeah.
Yeah, you got a physical Jimmy D. Apparently,
Well, I mean,
I was like, I don't even know what a physical Jimmy D is, to be honest. But I want to know what you guys are doing over there.
The NFT version of it is going to be the closest I'll ever be able to accomplishing your level of expertise. But yes, as many people will probably agree, I am not the best promoter and marketer of EOS USA. We do a lot of tech, break a lot of things, but I don't really tweet. I don't really, promo. And when I try to explain something, it may be super nerd as opposed to, yeah, I get it. So we've made an effort here recently to try to, bring on some additional people and focus on rebranding some of our websites and making it so more normal people can understand, what services we offer and some of the awesomeness that, it can enable for some of these projects. And, just to have something that looks a little 2021 as opposed to 1990s on our web presence. So.
Or you could have always just leaned into like early 90s and like just branded it as like,
have you not seen my websites? I mean, when I haven't actually. When I write code, well, not our like real website, but like when I write code and stuff for the bots, I'm not really caring too much about what it looks like. I'm grinding the data, doing the work, spitting out a log, right? So I just write. I mean, the HTML I learned 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was back in school. And I mean, it looks straight up early 1990s HTML-ish, So anyway, now that we've progressed past that, doing a little better at making it, not look as 1990s and having a little bit of branding and mainly kind of focusing on presenting it in a manner that isn't super nerd. Because even my nerdy friends and customers are like, I don't even really know what I'm doing. I love it, but I don't even know what I'm doing. So anyway, but we will never have a Jimmy D. But he's mentioning that because I reached out and I said, hey, by the way, I got a guy that's kind of doing it. And I know you're one of the main men that does it.
I don't see myself as that. Like which is like, so it's a really nice compliment. Thank you. I'm glad that you know that I do stuff, because I always kind of feel like people don't know that I do stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm giving you credit for doing something. I don't know whether you really do it or not.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even know if I'm doing stuff. Like I wake up in the morning and it's like I should do stuff today, but like maybe I did stuff yesterday and I forgot about it. I mean,
the problem is that you're waking up tomorrow morning. I mean, all the rest of us are still.
Yeah, it's weird. Stupid planets being spheres.
Corey's got inside my head recently because he told me what was it? I forget exactly what you said a couple of days ago, but you're like, Jimmy, I really love when you say like we're going live. We're tonight. Going live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard tonight.
Yeah. I was like Twitch. All right, so hey, I'm just gonna do the wheel today. If anybody could send me the link to that marble game, I would like. That's way more fun than just spinning this stupid wheel. But
yeah, I'm searching for it. I can't find it either.
Yeah, we'll get it for tomorrow. If anyone can get, just like hit me up on Telegram or whatever. Marbles. Oh, that's called Marbles on Stream. Okay, hold on.
I mean, that was easy.
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty sure the Google algorithm can find that for you.
Marbles on Stream. I tried to Google a bunch of different things. I did not do that. I have to get it on. I have to get it on Steam. All right, here. Yeah, at least I'll set it up tomorrow. Yeah. Because it's like an actual app and it's fucking complicated. Who needs that?
And thanks, Rob, a million for that. And Rob, we got to get you on here sometime too. So reach out. You got to be on the show.
100%.
We definitely need to.
Yeah, Rob's gonna end up being a superhero, I think, on this team. All right, so here's the wheel. Everybody who got their hands on crystallized uplifting before the cutoff, which was again, a week and a half after we said the cutoff was going to be. We wanted to give people enough extra time to do as much as they possibly could to get one of these things. Has their wax wallet on this list? Kindcoin actually won yesterday. He's like, did you mean to send me number 4? I'm like, yeah, dude, you fucking won the thing. Anyway,
I might be on that list somewhere.
I think so.
I think I'm on there too. I'd like
me too. I'll tell you right now, if I win, fuck all of you.
Hey,
like,
whenever,
because I was thinking like, man, if I win, like, do I have to give it away? I'm like, no.
Right.
Whoever it was that was taking the selfies for the Upliftium definitely is probably not my biggest fan. I was raising hell while I was
dude.
Wasn't that him?
Was that you? I don't remember. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was me. I remember it distinctly.
You're
a giant pain in my ass.
Even better. That's what
I freaking love you, man. It was good.
I was giving it hell.
Yeah, it happens. It's almost it's inevitable. Almost every time I'm hanging out with somebody in the uplift for more than 5 minutes, I start getting pelted with snowballs. Like Bullshit Bulls did the same thing. We're in there like kind of having a little meet and hang out, yada yada yada. Yeah, no way. If Corey wins, I expect to melt. Absolutely not. If I win a low mint, like one of the low mints, I'm never selling it. Like right. You'll have to pry it out of my cold, dead fingers.
Technically, only one finger.
Murpher.
4.
Is that like a llama sound?
Yes, it is now. All right. So many M's are 4.wham. You win mint number 3 of the crystallized upliftium. Congrats. Again, these were donated by a bunch of people from the High Table Whales Club. It's not exactly their name, but it's there. Like Bullshit Bulls and TC and a couple other people. They're freaking fantastic. Anyway, so you win.
It's a good job you're sending that, because if I was sending it, I would put in the memo, there's only 3 M's, so M's are not 4.
Yeah, you're fired.
M's are cute.
I just spent like a good 4 seconds trying to understand what you just said. And it hurt my brain, which is, anyway. All right, cool beans. Carry on about your conversation. I actually went to I'm actually going to show people this because this is great. Hold on. I'll put it over there. This is our dear friend EOS USA has the website skills. This is a real what was that freaking the site back in the day? Crap, I can't remember now. It was like Earth something. But it was like the shittiest websites known to man. It was amazing. And they're still good.
Thanks. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, and seriously, like, does this convey all of the information and links that he would like for you to see? Yeah, it sure does. Right? Is it super duper branded? Yep. You can't mix it. It's Alien Worlds bought to you.
Oh, it is bought to you. Look at that.
Bought to you by EOS USA. That makes it perfect.
See, now those little typos that just adds the character to it. So.
I mean, don't make us name a world after this shit. We will.
There is a new version of actually all of that right there. That it's not live yet. He's about to push the button once he finishes getting all the links and everything. But
that's awesome. Just to give, so for Alien Worlds fans, I want to read off some of the things that are on there. So last 1 hour of mines, so you could obviously track that. Last 24 hours of mines, planet staking, mining pool stats, planetary token distribution, total active miner stats, current miner land assignments, list of all lands. Last 1 hour of NFT mines, like. You got some freaking information here. Slumlord Suckas list. I don't know what that is, but I love that. What is a beggars list? That's fun.
Do you have a list of people that beg from you?
We totally need a beggars list.
I see. I can't focus that much. If somebody else wanted to build it, I just we already spent too much time focusing on negative people. Especially this morning, I just had enough.
What that was, I haven't read it in a while. It was, there are people that kind of make a living off of, please, I'm brand new. All right, give me some stuff. All right, please, I'm brand new. All right, give me some stuff, right? Because the community's great at, oh, okay, you don't have anything. And then you go and pull up the blockchain and it's like, but you sent like 1,000 tools to this other account, So anyway, that was... behind that.
No, that's good. That's like the deep community service. I was like, somebody else had this. It's on Twitter yesterday. Like, he did some giveaway, and it was like 10, 15 Twitter accounts, but all using the exact same wax account. I'm like, dude, that's fuck off. So yeah, that makes sense.
Some people try, some people don't.
Yeah, dicks.
I'm even at the point now where I don't even like to retweet. I've become like really prissy actually. Like if I was a chick, I'd be like a California girl. I'd be like a Valley girl. Because
I'm really glad you're not a Valley girl, because I don't know, things might get awkward. I'm happily married.
As if.
So, but I'm at the point now where I don't even like to retweet and follow and tag 3 friends, because like I don't want to spam my friends with things that I haven't researched. It's funny because it's funny because I used to do that all the time.
See, I just never. I mean, we've got Twitter, but no, I hire a Jimmy to take care of that for me now.
I mean, honestly, like we've hired much better people than Jimmy to take care of that. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're good.
Hey,
I love having you here instead of doing that, and I really, really love everything that's starting to take shape around the blog, which is really fun. And yeah, I had a feeling Super Sam would come in guns blazing, but she brought big guns.
Right?
Yeah, she's doing really, really well, and I think we're going to be adding to our social media team here pretty soon too.
Well, and we're at the point now, which I think is quite interesting, where we're starting to find dedicated people that look after 1 or 2 things, and I think that's a game changer for me. And like I think Michael's there as well now, with all the stuff that you guys are doing, with all the pies that you've got a finger in, because you guys like have a lot of stuff going on, and so when you can find somebody that's really good at doing those things, it makes everything a lot better, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah, and then of course that's what I've tried to explain is when cloning didn't work, all right, so then you start bringing in minions, and to bring a minion in and ramp them up and delegate is actually more work in the short term than it is in the long term. The long-term gains are better, obviously, but it's hard. And I mean, we brought in the last, I guess it's now 3 months. I'm working with 4 different development teams, 2 different web development teams, a sales team, a project management team, 2 new node administrators. And how about this for an interesting position? An NFT manager.
Yeah, you told me about your little game plan about this. Do you want to talk about that? Because I think it's kind of fascinating that you're doing that, and not crazy. Like you're gonna find a lot of sympathetic ears in here. I think.
It's funny, I mean, I already had to, explain to, I try to explain to my parents and friends and whatnot. I pay kids to play Minecraft, which you understand how that works, right? So now I'm having to, explain to them. Oh yeah, you get this whole concept. Now I'm paying somebody to just pay attention to the NFT space, right? Number one is, hey, I mean, projects we support, good big projects, whatever. I mean, we've got some revenue. Why not invest into the projects? But and maybe you win, maybe you lose, whatever it is. But the way we more look at it is, we're a service provider to the blockchain industry. A lot of the EOSIO chains, and so I'm intertwined in all the communities. I try to stay abreast of all the different things that are going on, but I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of projects popping up and a lot of different moving and shaking. So the ultimate idea of the NFT manager is not just to sit there and buy and sell NFTs, but to be aware of all of the NFTs that are currently, the hot projects or have things going on or getting visibility, and be able to feed that back to us so we can reach out and work with them and say, hey, do you know all these services that we offer? We can do drops. We can do, a new product we've got is what I call collection scoring, maybe branded as loyalty, but imagine assigning points to all of your cards and then every one of your collectors ultimately having a score within your collection. And you can do whatever you want to, do drops, do awards, leaderboards, things like that.
Yeah, so it's an amazing way to do like a pre-sale whitelist, for like super dedicated fans. Another awesome way to make a whitelist, Jimmy. I think pretty soon you're gonna be able to spend like 500K uplifting. Just that's a guess. We haven't set a number for this, right? You flick that on, pick a date. It for 24 hours it records literally everybody that comes to your plot to check it out, and then gives you a list at the end of the 24-hour period. And scene.
And see that, I mean, those are some of the services from Uplift that, you know, we're looking forward to once the floodgates open. You know, I mean, one of our key, I don't know, services or key pieces of the services is, you know, I've got all the nodes, I've got all the data. Of course, you know, I live in the world of blockchain, so I understand it. And all that data is there, but it's hard to get that data out and hard to do anything with the data that's actually there. So, you know, we're looking, and always have, you know, since the day you said, hey, I got this idea of, you know, let's build this Minecraft conglomerate, right? Was that, oh yeah, I mean, once you start pumping that information out, either onto a chain or even in a manual list, you know, we're designing services to help people take that information and do drops with it and you know, use it, because it sounds great, but when you start scrolling through blocks.io and trying to, you know, manually parse out all this data, it explodes.
It's
right?
And this, like, knowing that you've got this really interesting skill and tool set built out to, you know, because like the events, you know, uplift events, the wax count, right? We're going to be publishing a lot of information there and creating that gamified way to get information, you know, from in-game out so that people can gamify it. It's not like necessarily an easy thing, right? Like, to your point, like you could do searches and figure out how to do those things manually, which is what I would have to do, frankly, and have had a lot of success doing that kind of thing over the past few years. But what you're doing is going to be able to build a whole suite of tools that, you know, will be able to be massive force multipliers for every project. Like, that gets me really, really excited that, you know, you know, the Uplift isn't going to run that, and we don't want to, right? Like, we would rather have you figure that out and then some other, you know, group or company figure out something cooler, and then, you know, that creates that whole vibrant ecosystem for that layer. The layer that just gets so much more vibrant.
Correct. Like I say, it's kind of, you build a framework, and you know, blockchain's great for that. Is that, you know, the assets aren't locked in, the actions aren't locked in. You know, I mean, once all that's kind of exposed, yeah, I mean, you can do, you know, statistics, you can do reports, you know, tell me X that have more than 5 lands or more than 500,000 trillium or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Upliftium. So all those different things, you know. But anyway, I mean, we realized very early on, you know, we were in a good spot for it. You know, I run, I think it's 120, 125 EOSIO nodes under our roof. I mean, I've got some scattered all around the world.
Like, just like through that door.
Actually, through the second door, we're building a second server room next door and revamping it all out, installing new bigger generators and air conditioners.
This one has fireproof cubicles.
Fun fact. So we are having to go round and round about what's firewalls and what's not. And I'm like, who needs firewalls and stuff when you're building a server room? Oh, EOSUSA.
Have you seen your server rooms? I don't know. People whose server rooms catch on. Hold on, let me check my notes.
If you have a selfie of you, the firemen, and your servers all in the same, you know, pic, then you're winning.
My favorite selfie.
You're winning something.
My favorite selfie, though, is not that one in real life. It's the one that you have of yourself and the servers on fire in the Uplift world.
No, yeah, the EOSUSA server room. And for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know, I guess it was over a year ago now. I think it was in 2020. But our main operation building here in South Carolina got popped by a bolt of lightning. That absolutely scared the shit out of our CFO, but fried countless amounts of equipment. And I mean, there were 6 fire trucks in the driveway and everything. Of course, all the alarms are going off that, you know, hey, your servers are down. And they're like pinging me saying, hey guys, you know, hey Michael, you're having some problems. And I'm sending them pictures of, yeah, I know the firemen made me turn it off until they gave me the all clear, but I promise you it's turning on as soon as they'll let me flip that switch. And actually, you know, I ran the whole building, the whole server farm off of a diesel generator out the front door for about a week. I mean, it blew out all sorts of panels and stuff. So Yeah, we've got a history of actually catching servers and equipment on fire.
Vacation Jimmy has some insights that he'd like to shed on this. Like, I think one of the things that, like, I was kind of forced off the net for a while because I didn't have access, and it actually, it annoyed me, but more so it gave me, the ability to actually look at the world through fresh goggles, so to speak. And just hearing you talk, it's funny because, like, my rebuttal is just like, regular companies have R&R departments. Why don't crypto companies? And then going back to what, like, Corey said, it's like regular companies aren't expected to do anything. Why are crypto companies expected that they have to do everything? Why are crypto companies expected that they have to provide liquidity? They have to provide all of these services. They have to provide all of these things, which makes me think we're not quite there yet. When we get there, there's a lot of problems, obviously, with the real world and how capitalism, corporatism is structured. But there are some sound principles in that structuring. And I think when we get there, we will have crypto businesses that are run like Alien Worlds, that are run like the Uplift is increasingly starting to become, that is run like your business, I think, as well. There's some pretty solid things that are like Crypto Writer as well. Like, there's some pretty solid businesses in the EOSIO space that are starting to take form that I'm really excited to see. I can't remember. There was a stream I was on in the last 24 hours where somebody basically said, like, a reckoning is coming. And I think it was this morning, Shallow Dive with Love. Maybe Sebastian mentioned that, like, corporatism is potentially going to fall due to the extreme power of decentralized units that are forming around the crypto and blockchain space. And I don't think he's wrong. I don't know when it's going to happen, but
I don't know if they'll fall, but I mean, it's definitely a force that has to be reckoned with.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's way more likely that it becomes irrelevant, or, like, almost. Yeah, I look at these things now where if a technology is, or a system is, as order of magnitude better as we all rant and rave that it is, then it becomes the landline to the cell phone. Landlines still exist. Nobody fucking cares. Right?
Except for the elevator companies and the alarm companies. They still
like, there's like a niche use for it, right? Like 70-year-old octogenarian lawyers are gonna need something to do, so we'll just put them in that big room in Washington and let them yak and talk and stuff.
You realize that there's still a lot of our medical industry that uses fax machines for transmissions.
It's weird.
Right?
When I retire, because we're all awesome, and I get the ability to retire, or they force me out when I'm like 75.
I'm retiring because I got a mythical Jimmy. I mean,
probably what's gonna happen. I'm gonna start a new show because I think this would be fun. I'm gonna figure out a way to, like, get a person that runs out a cell phone battery beside a payphone and give them a reason to make. It sounds like a really bad movie.
It's a terrible idea, but yeah, go on.
No, I'm done. I think people can read between the lines, but it's a fun idea, right? Like, we become dependent upon these things, and that's where our mind tends to go. And I think, like, sometimes even in cryptocurrency and blockchain, we become dependent upon these ideologies that aren't necessarily, they're more figments of our imagination of what should be, as opposed to what are, right? I remember one of my friends tuned into a Crypto Writer podcast that we did. I think it was the first one that you were on, Michael. And he's not a fan of EOS at all. And I said, yeah, I mean, Michael's a good dude. He's like, even Michael EOS USA was criticizing EOS. How is that possible? Like, EOS is in his name. And I'm like, well, actually, like, that's one of the few things he does, right? Like you should tune into him. He's like, I'm not tuning into anyone with EOS in their name. And I'm like, yeah, but, like, he does other things, right? And,
I mean, would it help if I told you I had a 10 megawatt Bitcoin mining farm that I take awesome little pictures of, and liquid cooled immersion? And
he tuned in next time because we did have that conversation, right? But there's such a negative energy around certain things in the space, right? Like, there's such a negative energy around, like, censorship, decentralization, positive energy, negative energy. It sometimes gets conflated, right? And, like, one of the greatest things I actually learned from Corey, I'm not always the best at it, but, like, we can be the masters of our own universe in a sense, and we don't have to take shit from people. Just because we're playing in a decentralized communal space doesn't mean that we lose or have to give up all authority, right? Like, this is our project. This is the community that we want to build. I'm not necessarily the best at it, but teaching people that there's a right way and a wrong way to do things or say things. It's really important. And I think,
well, I think that whole thing comes down to, like, people really misunderstand what freedom of speech means, right? Freedom of speech means the government can't tell you what to say or not to say. Great fucking rule, right? You come into my house, I'm the one who fucking tells you what you can say, what you can't say.
I have
Right?
a
Like,
lot of those conversations about, there's a big
Right.
difference about,
It's
they
absurd.
can't stop you, but that doesn't give you absolute right.
Right.
You know?
No one gives a fuck what you think. Right. Like, unless you, and I think you can earn that. And everyone in our Telegram channel, there's like almost 5,000 people there now, right? I went on like a little band spree because there's people that were being, complaining little snits all freaking week. And I was very, very much over it. We're going to be banning a lot more people a lot quicker. I'm not sorry. Right. Because there's so many, it just takes up oxygen from actual constructive, cool shit. Even if it is constructive criticism, which we absolutely love. There's a lot of people that have leveled that at us and we listen like attentively. Right. But if you're a dick, we're going to ban you. Like, and not like maybe warn you and like maybe have a fucking kumbaya campfire about it. No. Fuck all that shit. Because freedom of speech is not entitlement to a platform that we built. Right. It's that
I tend to agree with you. I mean, and let's say I talked to many people all over the place, but it's actually one of these, right?
Yeah.
So
I like it. I love the rant. It was good. I wanted to ask Michael a question about EOS, which is where I was kind of headed as well. So here's the thing, right? Like, we're in the situation now where we're looking at what's happening with EOS behind the scenes. There's a lot of good things coming out, but what I see, actually, honestly, is no change from the block producers. The block producers, in my opinion, are doing the same thing that they were always doing: heads down, building infrastructure, keeping the network running. I know you guys are going through some changes. I know you guys are upping your, your stake, so to speak. Sorry, there's motorcycles. And I'm just kind of curious, like, what's new with you guys? Because, like, we don't hear about it, right? Like, a lot of times when you post things on social media, you have the polarized people that come and, EOS is great, EOS is going to the moon, bullish, awesome. Or you have the people that's like, EOS sucks, where's my money, block one, give it back. And they're not even paying attention to, what block producers like yourself are doing. So, and a lot of times, we don't necessarily get updates from people like yourself. So what's going on with EOS USA, and what are you guys working on? Because I kind of want to know.
Well, like I say, I mean, a lot of the big focus recently, well, I guess we've kind of got two main focuses now. Is, we've always kind of been an infrastructure service provider, blockchain, node operator. And so still continuing to focus on that. And of course, like I mentioned, running, 100 some odd servers and whatnot to do all that. So that's obviously one of our big technical competencies and focuses. And so, we see a lot of upcoming private chains, even some public chains and things like that are starting to spin up and looking for the expertise of, experienced EOSIO block producers. So it's not always just about one particular chain to us. There's a broader ecosystem. I think in the blockchain world, we always tend to think, chains are chains. If it's not the same chain, it's a competitive chain. But we've always believed, that EOSIO has that kind of core functionality of it's built to kind of shard out and have your own use specific chain, but then still have the underlying common technology, maybe to where, like an IBC or some sort of bridging solution is more native than like trying to bridge to ETH or Bitcoin or something like that, which is more of a wrapping versus a bridging, so to say. So we're really excited that, even if one chain isn't currently making many advancements, other chains in the same space may be, inadvertently helping as well. EOS didn't really take off hard on the NFT space, but because Wax has, really kind of ramped up and focused on that aspect, and, the same code kind of works across to the other EOSIO chains, and they're deployed on EOS. we've had some interest from some of our projects crossing back over to EOS to do NFTs and utilize that ecosystem, even though it may not be directly involved grassroots from EOS. Because we're all EOSIO, we actually all can kind of benefit from it, and even use features and ideas developed in one space and it's open sourced, obviously, and be able to reuse them on others. So that's our biggest excitement and things moving forward. Is it doesn't always have to be the explicit coin itself. It can be the ecosystem moving forward that ultimately we all kind of benefit from. And as a service provider, we like to, be one of the people doing that.
Well, in a way, I think FEO kind of proves that, right? Like FEO's getting some legs. They're doing some really interesting things. They've got a long ways to go. But like they're running on an infrastructure that is EOSIO, and most of the world doesn't know about it. And they've integrated with some top exchanges. There's another one I kind of recently found out about today, which is Proton. Proton now has started integration of a new kind of NFT thing. I don't know how I feel about it because they're kind of late to the party, but the idea is interesting. The idea is that the whole platform, the whole marketplace is open source. So anyone would be able to plug and play it into their app. I don't know very much about it.
I know a lot about it. I'm actually on the Proton committee. We've been
so I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what do you think about like the NFTs coming out of Proton? Because I think it's an interesting concept. And are they late to the party? And how is this going to work?
No, I'm pretty sure. I think that's also built on the atomic standard as well. So I haven't had any projects that are, explicitly crossing, but obviously that's part of the framework to look at, integrating the two together. And a perfect example, Wax was kind of the first one to help develop that atomic asset, but hey, if it works, why not? Right. Proton, Proton's actually, the reiteration of the Lynx chain, or a Lynx company from many moons ago, a wallet many of us used on when EOS first came out. And it's kind of morphed through and they've always been, easy user interface and trying to onboard as easy as possible. And then they merged with Metal, which is another, blockchain company that was more focused on like the payment rails and the financial integration, things along that line. So that's kind of where that Proton project was kind of a culmination of a couple different good ideas to try to advance, blockchain adoption. Another fun fact that it's been a while, so people may have forgotten, but all of us live and die off of, Blocks.io and all the different, subdomains of the Block Explorer. Saeed and the Blocks crew actually, I think we're acquired or partnered, however that all works, but they are ultimately one of the lead devs and magic makers over on the Proton side of things. So they've really created some cool tools and some cool processes. And
yeah, that was a game changer for me as well, right? Like, because he was the mastermind behind Blocks.io, and he was the mastermind behind Blocks.io, and it's like acquiring that level of genius is pretty good, I think, in my opinion. There's not very many top-notch coders, developers, creators out there, but when you're able to pull in someone who essentially solved a problem that Block One was looking at in a few hours, that they gave a week to solve, right?
Like 2 days, and the majority of that was the submission time or something like that, right?
Yeah, and I think that was like for the EVM or something, right? Like the Ethereum EVM, that was maybe about a year ago as well. But like, yeah, definitely, we need to get Saeed on this channel and talk to him as well.
He's a busy man. Like I say, he's working a lot of magic. But anyway, so like I say, that they've got some good teams, they've got some good ideas along it. Obviously, they're getting heavy into the NFT space and starting to play around with that. Their FUBAR token or something like that. But so yeah, it's an interesting, and they have I kind of call it a semi-private chain, but the idea is that you've got public block producers, you've got known teams, there's decentralization and control of certain things, but there's still a little bit of an oversight committee per se that just make sure that true sock puppets aren't being run or true malicious acts are being done. to be able to step in and still steer the direction of the chain mildly enough that it doesn't go awry, but not exclusive control like a private chain to where everything's controlled and run by one exclusive team. So that's that committee. And like I said, we also do things to try to, beyond just the Metallicus, I think is the official company name, but beyond their initiatives, we actually, the committee like funds a worker proposal system and tries to get some marketing efforts and different chain features in addition to just the core development. So it's really kind of a cool idea. Another example of using EOSIO technology, even taking some of the pieces, like his Block Explorer was Blocks.io, right? Well, that came from EOS because that was the first one that was there. Well, ultimately it's been ported over and really tweaked out for the Proton side. So another example of how all the chains, like it or not, are somewhat symbiotic.
I mean, they should be, right?
And I always felt like that was one of the selling points that got us on EOSIO. It's not, I know you can take Geth and clone it out and make your own chain and run your own ETH version of it, but it's not nearly as in my opinion ripe for the integration back and forth between the two, quite like the EOS community or EOSIO community is. So anyway, I digress. But Telos is another big one, that's out there that's developing some of the governance framework and even leading the way in different thought. They just disbanded proxies on their network, so it is now true voter tokens that ultimately drive their decentralization.
I'm going to get yelled at here, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not a big fan of a lot of things in terms of governance and how America is run. However, one of the things that I do actually like, believe it or not, is the fact that states have their own autonomy. And what I kind of feel like is taking format in the EOSIO community is kind of this kind of thing, this kind of area, right? Now, when EOSIO code gets to the point, because I think one of the things that Block One might be doing right, I reserve the right to change my opinion later, but they are doing a lot of education. That's maybe the only thing that they're doing is training people how to like code and do things on EOS, right? So if EOSIO gets to the point where it is ingested into the mass infrastructure of how society and blockchain, kind of courses the world towards its goals, then you're going to have all of these varying chains that can actually talk to each other relatively easy without the use of EVMs, without the use of tokens that need to be deposited in one account and then released somewhere else, custodial types of things, right? And you'll have all of these different chains that are kind of detailed and tailored towards doing different things, and it'd be really interesting to see how it'll take place. Like Telos might be the Texas of EOSIO chains. They just do shit totally their own way. They're like, fuck the rest of the country.
Also, we're totally the best. Maybe.
Like, fair enough. Texas and Telos are pretty close, right?
Right. They both have 5 letters. They both begin with T, and they both end with S. I mean, how much closer can you get? Really? I like it. I want to poach Corey's question for you and maybe one other person, but I'm not going to do this every week. But I like Corey's question from the last crypto writer roundtable. He asked all of our guests if there were 3. Maybe Corey, if you know what I'm going to say, it's better if you ask it.
I have no clue.
You're going to steal his question. You have to steal his question.
What was my question? I'm very confused.
Three projects.
What about them?
Okay, never mind.
I have no clue what you're talking about. What are we talking about?
So there was a Twitter post that Corey came across that if there were 3 projects that you could choose to like succeed.
Oh, dude, you can't go like what in NFT time. That was 7 years ago. Like that, like, hey, what'd you have for breakfast in fucking June 1st of 1974? Like, what? I don't know.
Nothing, because I wasn't on this planet.
Yeah, I wasn't born yet either. But still.
I've been away for a week. All right, like my blockchain time stopped. It was a hibernation. It's like I was a bear.
Your last irreversible block just stopped a week ago, and you're okay with that?
It was. That's what it was. Jimmy became crystallized while he was away. He's melting now. Everything is
right. I know. Nice, I like it.
Like,
So
really.
if there are 3 projects that you actually believe in, the long-term longevity of the future of these projects, that they don't necessarily have to be EOS or EOSIO, but what would they be? What projects do you still think are going to be around in 5 years or 3 years or I mean, start with number 1
Well,
because like
yeah, while you
counting
think about
backwards,
this,
3, 2, 1.
Let me ask, to what is the extent of the scope? Just
What
any blockchain related project?
You define the scope.
yeah,
All right.
agreed. And while you're thinking, I just want to point out that like you can't read this comment by Anders without reading it in his accent, and I love him for that.
Was nice.
It was nice.
I would say,
So start with number 1.
I'll take a shameless shill, and this might even be a whole separate conversation. Projects that I hope succeed and will be around in 3 years. A project called bettertherm.com.
What did you just say? The Uplift World?
No.
So we used to have a friend named Michael. He's gone now.
No, he sits there and promotes his own. So
That's so vicious.
Okay,
Okay, sorry, what was that?
You toss it up there, I'll savagely knock it out of the park.
No, go ahead. Bettertherm. I'm interested. What is it?
Bettertherm, BETTERTHERM.com. That's actually one of our subsidiary brands. So related back to the blockchain industry, or the Bitcoin side of things. Yes, everybody's railing on them for using, megawatts and megawatts of power, but that's not the next stage of like mining and thinking of it like that. What you'll notice, we've actually developed a patented technology that uses Bitcoin mining and partners with the power companies and things like that to replace standard heating options and whatnot throughout the world. And mostly North America right now, but obviously looking at branching it out. But anyway, so that's why when everybody's railing on, Bitcoin's, so bad for the earth and, it's just killing everybody and this, that, and the other. No. The Bitcoin industry and the miners are technological innovators as well and looking at better ways of doing it. Right. So people would be amazed at the different scenarios that power and energy falls into. There's wasted energy, there's stranded energy, there's a lot out there that isn't just plug it into your residential outlet and suck as much as you can and hopefully make money off of it. So anyway, that's one that I have obvious reasons that I hope it succeeds. Number one, I have a personal interest in it. Like say we run that liquid Bitcoin plant, the liquid Bitcoin mining plant to develop the technology, which ultimately led to the block heater, as we call it. And excited to kind of see where that technology is gonna extend to. I guess I can throw that Uplift site in there. I mean, it's hard to pick between all.
No, honestly, like you don't.
Yeah, no, there's so many super fantastic projects on Wax.
Well,
you don't have to say Uplift, but
like I say, I don't even look at it as the projects that I'm more excited about. I'm excited about all of the projects because we do services that hopefully are, accelerating for all of the projects, right? Like airdrops. Everybody could do airdrops, right? I'd mentioned, one of our new products is, a scoring type of system to where you can, in one way or another, kind of define points for your cards, in your collection. And, you may have thousands. I had one collection that had like 7,000 different card collectors. And I think it was like 500 or 600 different card templates in 3 different collections. And I mean, managing that data and who your collectors are is absolutely monstrosity, So that's a big service that we're really hoping takes off because it's going to empower so many more other projects to do what they want to do with their collection, reward their collectors, be aware of hey, this collection's doing well and this one is not. I might suggest where you put your focus,
Yeah.
So like I say, it's hard for me to pick one. I almost look at all of them and try to, well, what do they all have in common? What are all of their needs?
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to ask you, because I think you have a completely different perspective, as you started off the stream saying, than average Joe who's looking at it from a non-technical point of view, right? Like, and when you're looking at infrastructure and how to create infrastructure that expands and empowers the whole system in general, then your take's going to be different, right? And so I was kind of curious to see what you'd have to say, and I guess for me that was like, in a way, the perfect answer, because you're looking at it from a completely different lens, right?
It's funny. That's why I joke all the time, is that as much as I live and die in the NFT world and the tokens and all of that, they're almost all just becoming asset IDs to me, right? I mean, I spew thousands of cards out a day, with all these different collections and whatnot. And I mean, I just see them go by as, cent. I more look at, how much CPU did it cost, as opposed to, holy shit, that's a really cool looking card. I don't ever even see it in nothing but ones and zeros. So yeah, I mean, it's just a different world. But
Corey is such a degen. He's on Craigslist right now, putting up an advertisement for an NFT pay attentioner.
There you go, NFT manager,
an NFT manager.
Pay attentioner, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. A, I was gonna say you're fired again as a joke. B, like I kind of, now I'm like, you're so bad at naming things, which is something we share, because I also am fucking really bad at naming things. Yeah, my first show ever, my first podcast ever was called Coffee on the Dock. Guess what it was about?
I like that name. That's one of my favorite names.
Me too. And coffee, docks, what's wrong with it? But like, naming it's not my strong suit. Anyway.
No, but I don't want to say NFT manager, because I don't want anyone to ever let someone else manage their NFTs. I just think that's wrong.
Yeah, it's like sidekick degen, maybe.
I agree with that. Although remember, I'm an entity. So I mean, and that's a struggle I've been fighting with all along.
Somebody needs to cut that out. I don't care about anything else you say. Just cut out, I'm an entity. I just want that as an NFT.
I'm an entity. I'm a deity. No, not entity.
That escalated quickly.
You like that?
I am a thing in this universe too. I'm God.
Metaverse. I'm just a figment of ones and zeros. I don't even remember where I was going with all that.
Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I derailed the whole thing. I'm going.
No, you're
talking about like why NFT manager, I think.
Oh, well, yeah. And so I've been getting into the, I personally enjoy some games and, play things and collect things. But I mean, as a BP and as an organization, in the blockchain, as I mentioned, it's not just about collecting NFTs and this, that, and the other. It's about being aware of the ecosystem and projects that are happening. So I have a little different. You're right. I don't think anybody else should really manage your NFTs. Otherwise, it's just like know what you're getting into, right? I don't manage my own 401k, but I understand, I'm probably not getting exactly what I'd want to do. But, let it happen. But I've always had to struggle with, what am I doing as the BP? What am I doing as me? Nope, not going to have that problem anymore. I get somebody who manages the NFT relationships.
It's like you've basically hired an active trader.
It is. And that's what, it's funny, because I sat him down and I'm like, look, we're not doing this for charity, obviously. I don't just want you to just, throw money down the hole or whatever. But
right.
After we got through that, I'm like, for the record, it's more about the boots on the ground and having, if you see a project, I'm not a big Discord man, right? I never go over to Discord. Well, he's a Discord man. So, hey, if you see these projects that are hot and, and starting to take off, remind them what EOS USA can do for them. We'd love to work with them. It's as much a role in the organization as it is, I just want you to buy and sell NFTs.
I like the fact that your hiring process does this, for the record.
I will pull Eric on here. And we sat out there. He was screwing in miners on the repairing a bunch of the Bitcoins, because he does a lot of work with us or whatever. And I sat him down, and two things I told him. I was like, look, first off, it's not just about buying stuff. Number two, I'm a blockchain dude. Don't make me go chase this down. I trust you, you trust me, and he's a legit dude. So like I say, but I was like, for the record, don't make me have to go back through all these records and try to find if something's not right.
It's like like anybody in government or anyone, period. It's like, oh, blockchain gets used for crime. I'm like, do you know what it is?
Correct.
It's literally like a who fucking did what, where, when, how.
Right. Here's my checkbook. You know,
It's like you have to be the dumbest fucking criminals on the face of the earth to think Bitcoin's gonna hide you.
Yes, I don't know if you've seen the history, but yeah, that's what they thought, and they didn't work out.
Didn't work. Well, and seriously, wax is no different.
Wax is even more so. I mean, you know, it's much more. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, blockchain is not designed to hide money. Monero maybe. I saw some people, you know, mentioning dark coin, but
well, yeah, Monero, yeah, like there are, you know, attempted privacy functions, and you know, I think that definitely adds layers of abstraction. It certainly isn't BitConnect.
BitConnect. There you go.
Hey, listen, we got another meeting we got to get to in 60 seconds. EOSUSA, I freaking love you, man.
You're it's awesome. Fantastic. I love coming on with you guys.
You're a good dude.
Yeah, come back again soon, more often. We always love you.
You know, as long as I don't, Jimmy, if I ever sign up for something at 10 p.m., don't let me do that.
Right? He's like, he didn't realize that he signed up for 2 streams, and one of them was in the morning and one of them was the evening, and it was really fun.
One of them was last week, one of them was this week, and I'm like, hey, am I supposed to be here? And he's like, no, dude, this is what I've got for you, and showed me a picture of it, and I still got the time wrong and missed it that night too. So,
and then I posted in the Uplift channel, and I get a message from him. It's like, I see my logo on there. Am I supposed to be alive with you?
Right. Like I said, I was getting ready to go to bed. It's like, 10, 11 o'clock or whatever. And it's like, hey, come join us on the stream with EOSUSA. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know you guys we'll definitely see you soon. Tune in tomorrow for Media Moguls. We got a good show. We got Anders and Sean to come on and talk about Crypto Finny. And who's pressing the button?
No.
Boom. All right, we're up.